at 8,000 reps per precision. This is the inner world of pneumatic valve springs, of mean effective pressure, 300 brake horsepower per litre of displacement. The quest for the perfect four-stroke V8 naturally aspirated reciprocating engine. And in the middle of the hot metal, the carbon, the alloy technology, sits flesh and blood. Rising out of its carbon fiber monocoque, the coolest head. These are the eyes that can pick out a face in the crowd, as if motion were being slowed down. Not passing in a blur at 200 miles per hour. This is the pure mathematics of angles and aerodynamics, the physics of G-forces and friction, and the raw instinct to race. These are the masters of speed.
Hello everybody and welcome along to what is a wet Australia, actually. What the hell? It's going to be a full wet qualifying by the looks of things as we get underway in Melbourne. I am Ratty and I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, David Duckett. Do you want to say hello?
No.
Okay, well that solves that then. Yeah, we are going to be getting underway in Melbourne in the rain. And it does look like full wet conditions. I could be wrong. But yeah, first of all, welcome. And wow, season 7's underway. I've done 7 of these. 7. God.
Your lucky numbers.
Is it?
I don't know what's your lucky number.
My lucky number's 8.
Oh. We can pretend it's 7.
Well, we got Q1. I think this is the first time I've ever done a Q1 session as a commentator.
Yeah, I think Luke's mainly soloed these.
Yeah.
And there Peter goes.
Wait, what? There's people leaving the pit lane?
Peter left the session.
Oh. I'm sure we're going to get underway soon. I think, if anything, the drivers are trying to find the right setups now. They might have been preparing for the dry, and I'm going to make some adjustments to get ready for this wet qualifying. But this also kind of spices up, I think, with a full qualifying. When you get a wet session, it kind of makes the drivers, it makes the drivers a little bit more on edge. They have to fully push to get through to each session, instead of using the tyres they want to use. And obviously they've got, I think, is it 3 sets of inters, 2 sets of wets, from what I remember. So you're gonna have to use those tyres very carefully. First one out the pits is an Alfa Romeo, an Alfa Tauri, and that is Kilday. Yes, new driver Gustav. I think is it Kild or Kilday? Kilda. Okay, neither of them. But he is on the intermediate tyres. Is the game audio loud enough for everybody? Is it? It looks okay. Wait, Duck, just say something quick.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, you look okay.
Thank you.
Right. Well, I hope the stream is all good, all the audio levels, and I've maybe fixed the quality a little bit from last season. But we're very excited. We've got a lot of new drivers on the Tier 1 grid this season. I can't remember exactly how many, but I think it's around about 10 new drivers, if I'm not wrong. Obviously, a few stepping up, such as Skalski, taking over the Tier 1, the Ferrari Team TP slot, and the Tier 1 driver seat after winning the Tier 2 Drivers' Championship in Season 6. But we're about to get the first push lap of Season 7. And it's going to start right here in Tier 1 at Melbourne in these tricky wet conditions. As the Alfa Tauri rounds the final corner, gets on the power. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of people putting in, 5 or 6 laps of fuel. So they can try and improve on their time lap in, lap out. But Cohen 3, 4, 5, 6, thank you for the follow. It's one closer to that 400 that we're aiming to get this season. And I've not done this in a while, so you're going to have to bear with me. But... oh god, I've already done it wrong. I think it's that one. No, that's tyres. I'll get there in a second, guys. There we go. Should have this and also this. There we go. So we find the AlphaTauri now ran in turn 6, a very tricky corner after it's been reprofiled. I can't imagine. Look how much sliding about is going on in this AlphaTauri. And you can see not using too much battery due to these conditions. Goes down the super long straight now, down all the way to turn 11 and 12. What a sequence of corners this is in the dry. The Alpine. I'll have a look. What's the name of the driver? Nielsen. Oh, Nilsson, sorry. Nielsen and Nilsson, I always get mixed up. I apologise. We've got a yellow flag temporarily. Not too sure who that was. But we're about to have the first lap set here in qualifying. And it's going to be by Kilder in the AlphaTauri. Here he goes, up to the line now. And it's going to be a 1:30.265. Next car to round the line, I think is that Nielsen, the actual Nielsen? Oh no, that is not Hannestad. I think people might have the wrong numbers set. What number is he? 79. Who's this Aston Martin meant to be? As someone that does have the number set is Zandy, your driver.
Yes, sir.
And he's gone 4th fastest, which is 1.6 seconds off whoever that Aston Martin is. There's
Peel.
Nielsen in the other
It's
Aston.
Peel.
It's Peel.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
And
that was me.
then Jonathan Foss.
Oh, it's Foss apparently.
Yeah, Foss is P3.
Oh, so it's not Nielsen.
No, it's Foss.
For God's sake. Right. Well, Foss has the wrong number set because I definitely did his number. As
And
Harrington, who also has a long number set, goes to P1. Come on, guys. It's not that difficult, surely. And is that Byland in the Haas?
Oh.
Goes up to P6. And another
Foss.
Byland in P3.
Oh my. Foss went into the wall.
Okay.
Trying to
Once we
invite
get these
Peter.
first few laps out of the way, I will quickly go and make some brief adjustments just to make the leaderboard look a little bit better. But the right numbers do need to be set next time, guys, because it is very frustrating to do. So once we get a bit of a lull in qualifying, we will do that. That is Peel, yeah. So what number is he?
Is
Can you see on this car?
Number 19.
79. Or is it 19?
Oh, I'm blind.
I think it's 79.
Yeah, probably 79.
Okay,
I'm
let me
quite
quickly
blind.
change that. I have to do this on the fly. So every time someone says a laugh, I'm going to have to go and change the name.
Can you also try to invite Peter? Because I'm not allowed, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, so whoever the Alpine is in the that's got Byland's name, I can't change it because Byland is also in this session. So he's just going to have to cope for this race because he didn't choose the right number. But Peel should update, unless that is 19. No, it can't be 19 because that's Byland. I don't know anymore. Right. And who's that in the Haas? Is 99? I can't remember who that is. I think. Who is that? P2.
Harrington.
Goes P2. Van Dijk also putting in a lap good enough for P5. I don't know why it says Die and not Van. For God's sake.
Oh. Did you invite Peter? Did you invite Peter?
It's not me.
What?
People are blaming me for not doing the numbers when I literally spent like an hour putting all the numbers in from the driver market, but no one's decided to change them. I can't. Oh, I can invite Peter. I've sent him an invite. This guy is not meant to be 99. I can tell you what Harrington's meant to be, but it's also means I have to tab out the game, and obviously no one likes that. It's Fox Johnson, the new signing at Williams, and the season 6 champion, double-time champion now, goes up to P3. Still 6/10 away from Myron Peel as Van Dijk goes up to P3 now, replacing Fox Johnson.
He still is P9, that's very impressive.
Yeah. As who's the Red Bull? Is that Van Basten in the Red Bull? Going up to P4.
Yes, it is.
And next across the line is going to be, not the Alpine. I think it's a Ferrari. Is that Kizil again?
No, it's Kasper's. Skalski.
It's Skalski, the Tier 2 champion last season, and he does beat off Kizil, as Luke Martin would say. I've got to bring a little bit of Luke Martin into this, you know. The guy's gone on a date tonight, that's why he can't stream. What cringeness is that?
I don't believe you.
I know. Well, you know, he's into men, so... why is my name weird? Because I don't think you picked the right number, mate. And if you did, then you can shout out everyone that isn't me, because I didn't decide who has the numbers. It was this glorious staff team. Top of the picture.
He'll goes even faster by 1/10 of a second.
There we go, Molo up to P4 now as well.
Oh, thank God.
Who have we got in the drop zone at the moment? Gotting, who's actually, you know, been up there in time. Oh, he's just moved up to P13. As I spoke about him, we've seen him have some impressive performances last season. Archie Britton and your driver, Zandy, seems to be struggling a little bit down there. 30.7 is his recent lap. Also, ooh.
One of these spins.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't go into the wall. Oh, never mind.
But we also have, Paul just set a lap and goes up to P10. So Peters and, no, just Peters now just to set a lap. I think so. He got into the session a little bit late.
Just a tad bit.
Okay, let me check if anyone else is number 99. I can change it for you now. Tristan Van Tende, is he in the lobby?
Christian. I don't. We have Van Basten, but I don't think we have any other Vans here.
Okay, we do. We have Van Dyke, but he's also come up as Die. I don't know why. If I do that, does it change? Nope, it just says Die. Well, I mean, that means we can make out Van Basten and Van Dyke on the overlay, I guess.
Who's Tadpole?
Tadpole is my new driver for Tier 1.
He's currently up on his time, going into the final sector.
Let's have a look then, as he comes through. This is a new driver here as well. Coming through the final few corners. This corner,
Gotting goes P3.
very easy to avoid it. He gets a massive snap coming through there. Just 2 more corners to navigate, and probably one of the trickiest corners on this track is the final corner. It's very easy to spin out into this left-hand wall, but he keeps it under control. And here he goes now, the run to the line. What can he do on his second lap here? It's up to P9 for Paul. We won't be getting Paul as it stands. That's a pretty funny name, actually. Oh, Van Basten goes up to P2 now.
Still 4/10 off Peel.
Yeah, Peel laying down the benchmark here in Melbourne. As we've got a Mercedes coming through Sector 3. Is that Peter on his first lap?
No.
Oh, no, it's not. It's Anthony. Let's see what Anthony can do. Oh, as I think he's got a huge snap for that final corner, but I think he's replaced Fox Johnson as Fox Johnson took his seat going into this season, but he's not improving his time. It's a 29.6 still for Anthony, down in P11. As next cross line, is that an Alpine of who is that? Da Silva, the new driver, new signing for Alpine, goes up to P9, leading his teammate.
Half a second off. Now Peter is setting his first lap.
Oh, now Peter's on his lap, is he?
He's setting the final his lap now.
Oh yeah. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line, goes up to P10, putting the benchmark down to his teammate. I think he's a couple tenths behind. As you know, Dagold. What? Anyway.
Yeah, he's old. He's old. He's just
yeah, we'll ignore the Harris waffle. As I believe Zandy crosses the line, goes to P15, and there's another McLaren coming across the line. Is that? I think they're starting a lap possibly, or maybe didn't improve. Is that Harrington now coming across the line? It wasn't. It was Harrington coming across the line. He does improve, but it stays P4 as Kilda comes up to P2 now in the AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri's a little bit of a lull of a season last time in Season 6. They're looking to start this season off with strong form. As who is that? Is that Peter? No. Oh, Peter did get a big snap there. It's Anthony, who goes up to P2 out of nowhere. Maybe the track conditions improving a little bit. He's getting into the groove of things. But that new signing at Mercedes, currently on the front row. Well, for Q1.
Kilde going even faster in Sector 1.
There goes Fox Johnson now up to the top 2 in the Williams. He's only a 10th and a bit off Myron Peel, who just seems to be untouchable up there at the moment.
I think. Who else is on the line?
Is that Gotting? It is Gotting crossing the line. He doesn't improve though. Maybe on a cooldown lap, we're gaining some ERS before pushing on through this Q1 session.
I think Kilde is the next one on lap.
Killed it.
And then we have Peel starting a lap.
A big slide for him as he came through the final, the penultimate corner, and he's going to the pit lane. I think losing a bit too much time maybe from that error. And we've got a Haas next across the line. Is that Harrington? It is Harrington. Now powering his way down the main straight. Is he going to improve on his previous time? I don't think he did. He? No, he didn't.
No, he lost a second and a half in the final sector.
Yeah, as Pole crosses the line, I think he was on a cooldown lap of 1:44.7. Definitely won't get him anywhere near the top. So let's see. Next to cross the line is Byland, who has invalidated, so he will not be improving. And I think Peter, no, it's not Peter, it's Anthony going into the pit lane. So it's going to be the other McLaren of Van Dijk. Crossing the line, he's invalidated.
There's an Alpine on the lap, I think, but I don't. He's P11. Don't know who that is.
Let's see if Fox Johnson has decided to push on for another one. I don't think he has. Maybe a cooldown lap once again for the Williams driver. I think just like people going to the pit lane now, they've really misjudged this session, because if the track ramps up a bit now, these guys that are already out getting a feel for the conditions, as De Silva goes to the top of the timings now, as a Peter moves.
1 second.
Did Peter just move? Yeah, Peter just moved up the timing board, but he said he's in the pits. What the hell? Okay, so Peter's up to P5. Yeah, maybe some people out of sync here. We could see some shock exits here in Q1 as Anthony's out the session. What happened to Anthony? Did he retire in the pits? Oh, he did. I saw a yellow flag where Peter was, and I thought that was Anthony.
Yeah, same. And we have a guy who knows what team to pick in the chat.
It's Archie Britton, who killed me a few seasons ago at this track in lap 2. How horrible of him. Who is the co-commentator? That is David Duckett. I don't know if you're going to compliment him or insult him.
He's gonna insult. He's Swedish. He's gonna insult me.
As here comes Byland, ready to set another lap. He hasn't invalidated this one, but it's not an improvement. I think he went for a cooldown lap. As the Ferrari's cross line at Skalski up to P15 on his Tier 1, well, his full-time seat here in Tier 1 debut. And is that Fox Johnson? It is Fox Johnson, rounding in the final corner and starting another lap as he invalidated that one. A few invalidations coming through, as Peter's also invalidated, and I thought he had wing damage there, but it was just the Mercedes front wing looking a bit dodge.
Nothing could be on the lap.
I think Kizil's on a lap, is he not?
I don't. Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was, and he displaces his team principal and teammate down into the drop zone.
Gotting
goes fastest now. 0.02 of a second leading De Silva. And next cross line is going to be an Alfa Romeo, I believe. Is that Sandy?
Sandy.
It is Sandy.
Starting a lap, I think.
Starting a lap, yeah. And that is like in the last few. I'm going to see the last few people starting the laps now. And Sandy goes a little bit wide at turn 2. Hopefully that won't hurt his lap too much.
I thought he invalidated there for a second.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, thank God.
And I think is it going to be the McLaren next across the line, and that's Pole, I believe. No, he's coming to the pit lane, so he feels like he's safe in 13th. We could see.
It's only a few tenths between them, so.
Yeah, it's close. It's a close grid considering it's wet. There's only a second between the top 15.
Skalski goes P14.
Yes, Skalski up into the top 14. Won't be getting kicked out as it stands. As the two Hasses now across the line. Byland doesn't improve on his. Oh, he just about made it, yeah.
Yeah.
So Byland's going to have another attempt in this qualifying session, whereas his teammate Harrington has retired in the pits, I believe.
His seal was 3/10 up, but invalidated.
Peter next across the line, and it's fastest of all by nearly 3/10 of a second. Peter topping the timing boards in the final stages of Q1. And is that Van Basten going into the pit lane?
Britain coming on the lap now.
Archie Britton looking to get out of Q1 and fancy his chances up into the top 15. What can he do in the final stages here? He crosses the line now. It isn't enough. It's P17 for Archie Britton, displacing as Zandy's out, and so is Nielsen. So Zandy mustn't have had a good final lap, as I think that is everyone to cross the line, unless is Fox Johnson pushing on for another lap?
Yeah, he was 2.7 tenths up.
But as it stands, everyone is safe in the top 15, I believe. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So it's Kiziel, Britton, Zandy, and No, not Nielsen. Who's the other Aston?
Foss.
Who? Oh, Foss.
Jonathan
yeah,
Foss.
Foss. All out in Q1 as Fox Johnson goes up to P2 in the timing boards, just ahead of his teammate, but behind his former teammate Peter. Well, that was a pretty exciting Q1. I wonder if we're going to see any changeable conditions heading into Q2 and Q3. We could very well see a switch up. As what are we waiting for?
I
Hello?
don't know. I don't know.
Oh no. Oh, I believe we'll have... We might have another commentator joining us.
Oh yeah. Whom?
Hang on.
I don't like surprises. Are you getting the screenshots?
Oh no, but they're on stream. They'll be fine. I'll get them after. There we go. Don't worry. We might have Matthews joining us up here, which would be good to get the racing going. He's a good commentator, experienced here in Tier 1 as well. But there are your bottom four for Q1, as we are missing one driver. And wow, I mean, this is a pretty full-on qualifying so far. I'm gonna while we're in this like lull a bit, I'm gonna add Matthews quick, so we don't have to worry about that in a minute.
I could have actually done that.
Okay, if you... Oh, okay. Here he is. Welcome, welcome. We are experiencing a very exciting qualifying so far. It's intermediate conditions here in Melbourne. And we're into Q2 now. Oh, he's not got a headset on. Okay, I need to turn these Discord notification sounds off. Hang on 1 second.
I need to find out what mare means.
He's having a mare, like a nightmare.
Ah.
God. Let me just do this real quick. Okay, that should sort out any background noise, guys. So, is there anyone else's names I need to change? I can't change the guy that's called Byland. That's the only name I can't change. I think it was Foss, wasn't it? Was he number 19? No, that was Byland. I don't know then.
I don't think so. It's only 2 Bylands.
I think Foss was the only one I needed to change who was coming up as someone else.
Yeah, he instantly
Edward.
DNF'd though.
Who is this meant to be? If this is the Alpine, I can't change his name. Yeah, I can't change his name because he's got the same number as Kevin Byland. He's using Byland's number. So if I change the number 19 to say Edward, then Byland will also come up as Edward, and Byland's put the right number on, so it's not really fair, is it? So we'll have to just cope with that for this race. But Myron Peel, the man who looked untouchable for the start of Q1, is going to be leading us off on the first lap here in Q2. But let's see, can he be as dominant as he was in Q1? I mean, at the end there, he moved down a couple positions as some drivers setting faster times. As he finds his way, a little bit slidey. You can see how tricky these conditions are. It's a tough track in the dry here in Melbourne, but in the wet, it's even more difficult as he sets a purple sector 1, of course, as he's the first person to pass on through. As I think that's Kilda coming through next. I'm not too sure. He still has that purple sector 1, does Peel. So it doesn't look as fast from Kilda. As you'll find his way now up to turn 11 and turn 12. You should be good to join the lobby, Matthews. Can you send him an invite, Duck, or not?
Maybe. I don't know.
Will it work?
Maybe.
Because there's 20... Oh no, we've got 21 people in.
I'm not. I hate this game. I'm gonna try and invite him from EA, but we all know how that goes.
But here comes Peel now. He's been... Someone's taken away his purple sectors. He's down to green, just like his kart, as he drifts his way through the final corner and powers onto the line. What is it going to be from the Aston Martin driver? It's 28.5. That's a pretty respectable time from the Q1 timings we saw. As next across the line is Kilda, goes P2 at 28.7.
I think you need to invite him.
Do I need to invite him? Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
As Edward sets the time and Harrington goes P3. Let me quickly invite... do I even have him on? I should have him. I do have him. Okay, I've invited you, Matthews. As Peter goes fastest of all now, just like he did at the end of Q1, he's looking to solidify his way at the top of the timing screen. Oh, and Harrington's lost it! Harrington's into the wall! Harrington, a huge crash there, coming out of turn 6, and he's out of this qualifying. That was a massive crash, just losing the back end in these tricky conditions. Very easy to do.
Not ideal for us at all.
No. Not after I saw someone put W Haas in chat just a few minutes ago.
That was awesome. Also, just jinxing everyone.
Did Matthews get in?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
He should be joining us soon as Peel improves his time, but still a tenth and a half away from Peter as Kilda now goes into the 28.3s. But still a tenth and a bit off the back of Peter. And it's Edward in the Alpine, loses the back end, and he's nearly in the wall, but he saves it. It's looking a little bit more tricky here in Q2. There's another Alpine. His teammate, who is that? De Silva having a moment. I think that's down at turn 12. Is the race dry? We don't know yet. We do not know. I'm sure if there's any engineers in chat, they'll be happy to fill you in.
Don't you have the weather forecast thingy?
Oh, yeah, but I don't think it tells you next session. I think it just tells you this session. Have a look. Yeah, it just tells you the next 60 minutes.
So it's gonna rain this entire session. Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes Q3 is just a different weather thing altogether. I don't really know.
Yeah.
As Van Dijk starts a lap, Pole's actually not left the pit lane yet, I don't think. Interestingly, down in P15 as Van Dijk invalidates at turn 2. So it's not looking good for the McLarens, unfortunately for me.
Pole leaves the pit lane now.
He does, as Kilda coming down the pit straight now. Is he improving on his time?
No.
He is not.
There you went. It was 2.5 seconds off this time. Peter is going faster though.
Let's have a look. It's Hans Peter. Ooh, nearly losing the back end of the car. And veering off into the gravel there, but he keeps it all together. It's a purple sector 1, a green sector 2. As he rounds the final few corners. He's kept it stable through there. It's looking like a strong lap here. I think he's going to reinstate that time at the top of the timing boards. He hasn't. He lost a bit of time, nearly 2/10 at some point during that lap. He had it all until the final sector.
Van Dijk has invalidated his lap.
And Gotting moves up to P8 in the Williams.
Van Basten is going faster. Never mind, he slowed down.
Oh, and De Silva going to the top of the timing boards now by nearly 200ths of a second to Peter. De Silva's looking quick out there.
Gotting is going faster. He was 2 seconds up in sector 1.
Gotting. Let's see what
Yes.
Gotting could do then. 2 seconds, did you say?
Yeah, it said 2.1 according to the game.
It says he's 3/10 down for. Wait, Gotting, you said?
Yeah.
It said he's 3/10 down for me.
What the? I hope. Okay, I hope that's the game. Someone's lost it.
Apologies, my dog is being annoying.
Ah.
P5 for Edward as he crosses the line. A 28.6. Just over 4/10 away from his teammate. Up on provisional, well, I say provisional pole. It's a Q2, but it's a very solid time. Is that a Williams going slowly there?
It's getting his ERS back.
Ah,
Bylan goes 5/10 faster, up to P5.
he does. Why is... This isn't Byland game. There's Byland. Yeah,
Wrong
setting a 28.6, I believe that was.
Yes.
And the two Bylands joined at the neck in this qualifying session. I don't know how many times I've seen those two together on the timing screen. As Gotting will be winding up to do another lap, and there's an Alpine, and is that a McLaren? It is a McLaren. It's Van Dijk who I think invalidated again. It's Van Basten out of nowhere goes to the top of timing boards by nearly over 3/10.
What a lap.
That is a cracking lap there from the new Red Bull signing. And Pole goes up to P7 after setting a lap in the final 6 minutes of this qualifying session. And Kilder comes into the pit lane, so he might be going out for a final few runs very shortly.
Molo is setting his lap. Van Dijk hasn't set the lap yet.
Let's see, Molo comes across the line. It's P6 for him. It's a solid lap of 28.5. That's what we started this qualifying session off with. And who do you say is coming across the line now?
Oh, Van Dijk hasn't set the
Oh,
lap.
Van Dijk hasn't.
I think he's on one now though.
And who is that Haas? It's the only Haas left in the session. It's Byland going to the pit lane. Fox Johnson's also yet to set a lap. I think is he on one now? No, he's on an out lap now. He's just come out the pit lane, but his teammate, Silas Gotting, coming through the final corner now. Is it Silas or Silas?
I don't know.
I feel like we're not even
Silas
saying
or-
Gotting right. I think Gotting's like an absolute butcher of his name. But here he comes,
He hasn't completed.
and it's a couple tenths off his personal best lap so far. Is that Van Dijk coming across the line? It is, and he moves
P7.
himself up to P7. Sorry, I actually feel bad for Van Dijk that somehow his name is just Dyke, not Van Dyke. I will fix that. As Skowski, I think, was winding up for another lap there. The other McLaren of Pole now coming across the line, goes up to P6. So it looks like it's pretty close between the McLarens, Alfa Romeos and the Haas. You know, that bottom 5, in the top 10, sorry, all seem to be pretty close together.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a bit of a scrap here to get out of that drop zone, because we've got a few fast drivers who I know want to get out of it. But obviously, Harrington is definitely going to be at the back of this field, I feel.
Because he's DNF'd, yeah, it's going to be difficult to improve his position.
Yep. That's usually how it goes, Duck.
I have a lot of experience with it. Don't you?
Oh, do you?
worry. Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's see as Gotting is pushing on for another lap. He's gone green sector 1, green sector 2. No purples, but he does just need a solid lap here to get him out of that drop zone. 2 Williams currently stuck down there in the bottom 5. As here comes Gotting now back on the power for one final time in his hot lap. What is it going to be for him? It's a 28.4. That is solid enough to get him into the top 5. Ahead of Myron Peel, who we thought was going to be dominating these streets here in Melbourne. As
He is on the new lap now.
here comes De Silva, who's been to the top of the timings a few times before already, but he's 2 seconds off the pace there, so I'm going to guess that was a... what the hell? Oh, okay. This is just not funny anymore.
Very glad I had the stream
Van Dijk goes up to P2 out of nowhere.
Peel
Now
goes
Peel
P2.
goes up to P2. We're seeing a few faster time. I wish this thing wasn't talking to me. Thank you. As Anthony is invalidated, so he's going to have to go around once again. Is that Molo now, who's
He's
also
invalidated.
invalidated? So Byland's next up behind him. Is he on a lap? I don't know. I think he's on an out lap.
Said he improved by 5/10 from.
Oh no. Oh yeah, he might have done it. I think I was looking at the other Byland. But the man who hasn't set a lap yet is the reigning world champion, Alex Fox-Johnson, as he crosses the line and goes a 10th clear of Van Basten and puts it to the top of the timing boards, as we should expect by this point. As next to cross the line isn't Paul, it's the other McLaren of Van Dijk, who has invalidated. We might see come back into the pits now. He has set a time he must be comfortable with. Or is he? No, he's going on for another lap. He might have just done a cooldown lap. As let's see. Oh, but a bit shaky through there. I don't know if that invalidated his next lap. Actually, it could have done. But next up is Silas Gotting. I don't think he's on a lap,
No, he had a spin.
so it's not Gotting. So is it Edward? I think he might. I think Edward might be on a lap. Let's see. Currently P12 and it's starting a lap. Good. Skalski's definitely not on a lap. 13 seconds off the pace. Thank you, Hamsi. Oh no, Puthran. I just looked straight at the notification. Puthran, thank you for the gifted sub to Hamsi. I'm sure he'll be very much appreciated that if he ever watched one of our streams ever again. As Myron Peel goes up to P2, Anthony moving his way up
Molo,
into the top
P6.
5. Molo, yeah, putting it in P6. Kilda only good enough for P9. Have you seen him light up purple before? As Paul retires from the session, so he's he's in the wall.
He pinned it.
He's in
He
the
pinned
wall.
it.
So Paul is out of this qualifying session as well. Can either of the Bylands, as in Byland and Edward, or Skalski take advantage of him in P11? As next up might be Gotting. No, it's not. It's Fox Johnson who's coming into the pit lane. And it's going to be Paul's teammate, Van Dijk. Ooh, it's getting really sideways as he comes through the final few corners. Through the penultimate corner now. One more to go. The trickiest corner on the track, probably. As once again, he's sliding it out of there. I don't know if he's found any time from doing that, but let's find out. He hasn't. He's 4/10 down on his previous best. As next up is Gotting, who crosses the line now. I don't think it's going to be an improvement. It is an improvement. Oh, to P9 for him. Puts Kilda on the cusp of going out now. As where's is this Edward? Edward
and Skalski.
Edward and Skalski up next as Edward goes up to P12. It's not enough to get him out of Q2. What can Skalski do? Only P14 for him. Not going to be out of Q2.
Peter's going quite fast.
Anthony also in the Mercedes next cross line. He does improve up to P3. And is it Molo next? No, Molo's into the pits. It's going to be...
no, Kille is not on a lap, so
it's
it's
Byland.
Peter.
And Byland doesn't improve. So it is Peter next, yeah. What position's he in? P8.
He's safe anyways.
He is safe, but can he improve on his time? For gloating reasons, yes he can.
P5.
Up into P5 for him, displacing Van Dijk down into P6. But that is the bottom 5 for Q2. It's Paul, Edward, Byland, Skalski and Harrington. We had 2 DNFs that session, and the 2 looked like pretty big crashes. I mean, hopefully... I really hope, for God's sake, that in the next game, now red flags are confirmed. If that's a red flag, I'm going to just give up on life. I cannot sit about waiting for those red flags just from something like that. Anyway, that is your bottom 5.
I can't screenshot because they're just turned black. That's loud.
It's fine, it's fine. I'll go and do it after stream. There's no
Oh,
problem.
this works though. What?
But yeah, another very solid qualifying session. It's pretty close. You've got to say. I think this is probably one of the closest tier 1 grids we've had. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, I forgot to say, Harris, because you annoyed me that much. Thank you for the resubscription. It's just very annoying. And also he's cheered four bits. Birthday, 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 birthday.
I don't. This old guy. Man. Still
I think
lags.
the race is drier from what I saw before. I was a bit focused on commentating, but I think from what I could tell, it said it was going to be dry. The engineers have said. So this could be the last wet session we have this weekend. And I think it's going to be a very exciting one because it's going to be everything's going to be out on the line, and Sanjay, sorry, Harris, has donated 6 bits of salt. Perfect. Well, just like last time, it is Myron Peel and the Aston Martin leading us out at the start of this qualifying session. Is Matthews still here?
I've just joined.
Oh, here he
I've
is.
joined for the exciting bit.
You have joined for the exciting bit. You've missed all the boring waiting about, and you've come straight into the action. It's been a very close qualifying session. I think, from what I remember, there's 5 tenths separating the top 10 in Q2. So
Just saying, it looked very close at the end. I can't remember the last time I saw a T1 quali that close going into Q3, to be honest.
I know it's been pretty mad, but well, let's see what this Q3 session's going to turn out to be like. Because I don't honestly know. If someone asked me right now who's going to get pole, I won't be able to answer it because there's too many drivers out there that have just lit it up purple out of nowhere.
You might have to put your money on last season's champion, Alex Fox-Johnson, the only repeat champion. See if he can repeat that, make it a triple this year, but we're right at the start of the season, so who knows?
Who knows? It's all to play for. A lot of new drivers, not only in Tier 1, but in this Q3 session now. And yeah, it's gonna be a very big mix-up, I feel. As Harris, just please stop donating bits, please. It's so distracting. But we're gonna have Myron Peel going across the line now to start the first lap in Q3. This is just unnecessary. Can someone ban him?
Everyone out except AFJ.
Oh,
Suppose he just come out.
Myron
Just come
Peel
out
has
the
been
pits now.
validated at turn 1, so he's going to have to go around once again, which I'm sure he's not going to be too annoyed about in the wet conditions. So that leaves Anthony now going to be the first person to set a lap time. Shut up. Well, it shouldn't bark when I'm commentating, should it? There's nothing. You should know that this is Amethyst Racing.
So you actually just sell the dog.
Molo's also invalidated on his first lap.
Damn it. Oh. And Peters gets a penalty for collision with Kilde.
Well, we are watching Anthony navigate his way through turn 11 and turn 12. He's gone purple sector 1 and it's kept purple sector 1. Green sector 2 though. I think Peel might still be pushing on, or I don't know. He's only a driver ahead, so I don't understand.
He's invalidated.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if he's pushed on with his lap.
Nah, he's going for a new one though.
As Anthony now round in the penultimate corner and into the final corner. Let's see what he can do. We know I think he led Q1, if I'm not mistaken. I could be though. There's too much going on. There's been too many people at the top of this timing board, but it's a 28.0, which we know is a fast time so far. We've seen, I think the fastest one was a 27.7, I want to say. As Molo.
Next person going to be Rico.
Oh yeah, Rico crosses the line, a 28.1 for him. Only a couple hundredths away, but De Silva once again going to the top of the timing boards, 800ths clear of Anthony. And Van Dijk now with a 28.1 up into P3 out of the 4 drivers that have set a time. And is that, who is that? That's Gotting next across the line. Let's see what he can do. Can he get himself in that mix? Not quite. I think he's gone for a cooldown lap, maybe a mistake at some point.
Red Bull nearly spinning at the start of Sector 1 as well. Well, nearly start of Sector 2.
Oh yeah, we've had some pretty major crashes as well in Q2.
Oh, I have missed that. I haven't seen a single crash.
There was 2 huge crashes, and yeah, we could see a few more mistakes in this session, but we know that these top 10 have to have done some beautiful work in Q2 to get into this position, so it might be a little bit less frequent. As
I believe this is AFJ come around the final corner on a lap here.
Here he is.
Lap right behind
A little
him,
bit
so-
squirrely as always in these tricky conditions, but here he comes now, up to the line, and it's a 27.8.
And
But
Peel, with the
Peel-
toe right behind.
Yeah, right behind him with a 27.5. That is a fast time. And
Definitely set the benchmark there.
yeah, that is going to
See
be
what else has
the
got.
time to beat so far. I wonder if we're going to see any track improvement here though.
I mean, maybe chat can tell us. I don't know if you can see what the forecast is meant to be like.
I can just see Violin Tool telling us about how he wants to offer us promotion, and I could not
Very
care
nice
less.
chatbot.
But Sealess Gotting or Silence Gotting, I don't really know. I'm just going to go with Sealess. I think that's what Luke says. Next cross the line, and
That's
it's
probably
P2.
not right. If Luke says it.
Yeah, true. It's P2 for him, ahead of his teammate. So showing him that he has the pace to beat the reigning champ, even in the same team. And I'm sure he'd be happy with that. As Fox Johnson, is he pushing on for a lap? No, he's invalidated. So
I don't think we have anyone on lap at the
we
moment
don't.
after all of that.
It's weird
They
because
wouldn't
it's
beat
weird how
those
people's
laps.
qualifying strategies have changed. Because I always think in the wet it's best to load up the car with a bit of 5 or 6 laps of fuel and just keep going lap after lap, trying to find the grip, get used to the tyres. But it seems like they're going for the 1 lap runs now.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see some long stints here. I don't know what it's been like in Q1 and Q2, but I think that's what we're used to really, is people just staying out, just going
Yeah,
over and over
well,
again.
Q1, Q2 was there was people doing 4, 5, 6 laps at a time, but I thought that would carry on into Q3. I just thought it's nice to have a feel for the track in the wet conditions, but it seems like the drivers are comfortable enough to keep going with what
Yeah, it's
they're
weird
doing.
seeing as everyone's done it as well.
Yeah. I don't think Fox Johnson's pushing on for another lap here. He doesn't seem to have the ERS for it, but we'll see as he comes into sector 2 now. If he's 2 tenths down on Anthony's time, who's got the best sector 1,
Oh.
and Fox Johnson nearly loses the back end there. That's very similar to what Harrington did, but Harrington unfortunately hit that left-hand wall. But
So
yeah,
we've got Gotting going round
Oh,
again for another lap. So
He'll
it'll be a
almost-
push lap.
Hilda
Yes.
almost pinned it into a wall there.
who did?
Hilda.
Kilda,
won
who's
kill.
actually on a lap, isn't he? Yes, he is. And he's gone
Purple sector
purple
2.
sector 2 apparently in game. Wait for the telemetry to update. It's not a purple sector 2. It's a personal best, which is actually his first time going on the lap in this session. So maybe he doesn't have the tyres that everyone else has, because he wouldn't leave it to the last 4 minutes, I don't think. Not in Q3 anyway.
I think we missed something with Gotting on turn 1 there. Turn 1 or turn 2. There's a yellow flag there. I know he was going to be on a push lap and now he's 5-6 seconds down.
Well, here comes Kilda, who's been quick in Q1 and Q2, but only manages P8 ahead of the 2 people that haven't set a time yet, of Marlo and Peter. So he will be looking to improve on that. Van Basten, is he on a lap? I don't think he is. He's warming up his tyres. So it might actually be Peter next, who's also yet to set a time, who could be next across the line here. So let's see what he can do. We've seen Peter top the timing boards as well. There's been so many people in this session to either be in the top 2 or top the timing boards in Q1 and Q2. This is why it's going to be such an unpredictable qualifying session. It's so close. Peter's actually out of ERS coming down the pitch. Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Oh, Peter doesn't have telemetry on. Mercedes L. But he does top the timing boards. He might not have his telemetry on, but he does have his talent on. As he goes to the top of the timing boards with a 27.4. We were gasping at Peel's time before. But Peter laying down
Even
the
on the
benchmark
McLaren
now.
coming round, I think he was up 4 or 5 tenths at the end of sector 2.
I think is.
I know you'd be very pleased to see that.
I am very pleased to see that. But is Anthony Anthony is on a lap, goes up to P5, and so is De Silva. But Van Dijk, like you say,
Van Dijk goes
goes up
P2.
to P2 with a
That's
27.5.
so close across the top 3.
It is close. 400 separating the top 3, a tenth separating the top 4. It's going to be a very tight qualifying session going into the final 2 minutes now. As is that Molo next to set time in his first time of the session. It's a 1:30.7. I don't think that's going to be representable of his final lap. Hopefully, if he can get a good one hooked up, but he invalidates at turn 2. Molo needs to get a good lap in. I think it's going to be his last chance now as he comes round. So he's going to have one chance.
Gotting invalidated. Just coming around. I don't think anyone on our lap near the end in sector 3 at the moment.
I think Peter could be on a lap. Oh no, he's gone on a conserve lap.
Looks like everyone about to start their final lap here then.
Yeah.
What happened to? Oh, he retired in the pits.
Who's that? Oh, Van Basten retired in the pits. Interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, keep an eye on Van Dijk. I think he's on another push lap.
Let's see Van Dijk round in the final few corners now.
He might get a bit of a tow here from Mercedes as well.
He could do. Oh, a big snap out of the final corner though. Let's see as he crosses the line now. What is it going to be? It's a 27.3 from Van
P1.
Dijk.
Wow.
Up to the front row. Oh, he's already on the front row. He's up to pole position here in
That was 2
Q3.
push laps in a row, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it was.
Hilda is just cutting in the corners to make it round again.
Here comes Alex Fox-Johnson. I think he's warming up for his final lap now. Or he's pushing on for his final lap now. Is he going to invalidate at turn 1? We've seen a few people do it, but he's kept it together. A bit of a squirrely moment as he came through the exit there, though, as Molo isn't... Oh, he's just about going to get one more lap in.
There we've got, I think it's Peters coming round, swiftly followed by Gotting. Gotting is up 2.5 tenths. Peters, I'm not sure.
I think Peter is trying to go for one more because he's not used any ERS that lap.
It's gonna be
Is
the
he going to
last
reach the
person to
line
start a lap
in
then.
time?
He should just, shouldn't he? That's very well timed.
It is very well timed, as a lot of people behind him have invalidated, so
Oh, Gotting validated. Must be in sector 3 as well.
I think the next person to cross the line is going to be Anthony.
Hilda cut the corners to try and make it round again.
Anthony pushing on, currently P7. Can he find any time? He has 5 tenths and he's on pole. I know that sounds like a lot, but in these tricky conditions, it's, you know, one mistake you have on your last lap could be the difference of pole and not. And he crosses the line. It's up to P4 for him as he finishes this qualifying session. Next up is De Silva, a new driver here in Amethyst Racing. He's been looking racy all qualifying, and he's carried on being so. He moves himself up to the front row alongside the McLaren of Van
Bill's a
Dijk.
tenth and a half up.
And Fox-Johnson goes on to pole now. The reigning champ takes pole by 25 thousandths of a second.
Can Pill ruin it?
Peel's invalidated.
Oh, he must have done that right at the
in the
end.
final few corners. Now
That would have been
Molo,
pole as well.
Molo goes up to P7 in his final lap. This is so close. Is anyone else on the lap?
Peters on a lap. He's
Peters
up.
on the lap.
It's up about 10th as well.
Let's see what Peters can do. If he's up a 10th, he only has to find 84 thousandths of a second to
That's
get
like
himself
1.2,
onto that front row or even into pole position. So here he goes. He's got to just keep the traction under his foot for one more corner. He loses the back end a little bit, but he gets it pointing in the right direction once again. Here he goes across the line. It is pole position.
He's taken pole.
Ahead of his old teammate and reigning champion Fox-Johnson. It's Peter
27-1.
on pole. What a lap. And what a qualifying session.
You know, maybe the track was slowly drying up right at the end there.
Oh. I see Peter with a 5th place penalty given by the in-game.
Yeah, he had a collision
Oh,
with
yes, you
Hilda.
get that.
Is that
I don't think it's been reported.
we might need a lobby restart in the case.
Oh wait, I can go ask him.
Yeah,
Hello.
if you could, just so we can know whether it's a legit penalty or not.
Yeah.
But there are your final classification for qualifying 3. Well, maybe not final, just ignore that 5th place for now. But Peter leads Fox Johnson, leads Van Dijk. And, I mean, all the way from Q1. That was a really intense qualifying session. And look who it is! Look who it is! In chat. If he doesn't rear his ugly face every stream, I'm joking, Luke. So there could be a lobby restart. We're just going to find out what Peter's penalty was given out for, because obviously we know it's not very fair if he got it from literally a slight bit of contact, you know, in that session. So
Hopefully they have some footage of it, 'cause I don't think we saw it on stream anywhere.
No.
In fact, it is actually in the Mercedes chat.
Trying to have a quick look.
He doesn't deserve that. He had a spin and sat still on the track, and then someone drove into his front wing.
Okay, so we will have a lobby restart, and then this race will get underway once again. Apologies.